All right, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Once again, back in the building. Now today I want to talk about you know, women in particular, not this particular content creator, because I think she's just a representative. She illustrates the confusion in the female understanding in the marketplace and how they should move as far as trying to find mates in the marketplace today, and male mates in the marketplace today. So shout out to Tonyo TKO, but I'm just not, you know what I'm saying, she just illustrating the confusion that's on that side. And there's guys like me and other people, women too, I guess, that are trying to dispel this confusion, but then people just don't want to accept it. They just don't want to accept that, right? It can't be that simple, right? It has to be way more complicated than what I want to, than how we're gonna break it down. So we're gonna break it down, and I just want her to illustrate how many of the females out there in the dating market, in the sexual marketplace, they experience this confusion.
Reading a comment. Let me show you. All right, so look here where it says, men, I want to be single. I don't want y'all, right? And I thought, hold on. I thought that this was a comment that exemplifies what men are saying, and it dawned on me, boom. Did you all have the same epiphany I just had, or do I need to explain it? Men want to be single. Men want to be single. Oh my God.
Now, this is one thing that women are very good at, or I would say many women are good at, because I won't say all women do this, but a lot of women do this, and they're good at the extrapolation, right? So if they read one comment or two comments that say one thing, they will say, all men think this way, right? They're very skilled at the extrapolation, right? However, that is what's killing them in the dating market, in the sexual marketplace. That's killing those extrapolations, right? Instead of taking a case-by-case basis. When you meet people, and I definitely have met lots and lots of people, and I've talked to lots of different people, you have to deal with everybody on a case-by-case basis, and that's harder to do. That takes a lot of with patience to do that. Now, if you don't have the patience, then it's easier to just prejudge people and say, well, I just think you're this way because the way you dressed and the way you don't have, you're not pulling up in a Benz or whatever, so I can just prejudge you. So, but and extrapolate you into, because see, in a lot of their heads, there's a narrative there, and the only way that's going to work, see, if they take it by case basis, it's not going to work. It has to be extrapolated that way, that it justifies the incompetence that they are experiencing and throughout the sexual marketplace. So therefore, and it removes the accountability from them. It removes it. See, if I can say, hey, you know what? It's me. See, I'm selecting people that don't want to be in relationships. Those are the people I'm selecting, these people. But if I say everybody doesn't want to be in a relationship, then I don't have no accountability. I don't have to worry about. See, I'm not responsible for my own incompetence, because it's not the incompetence that's the problem. It's the problem that the well is poison. All the fish are poison, right? So, unfortunately, that is not the case. And you have women that are pushing this narrative to younger women, and unfortunately not telling them, hey man, every man's a case-by-case basis, just like every woman is a case-by-case basis, right? There's certain things we say in a tongue-in-cheek way about each other as women and men, right? Women are crazy, or men do this or that. Men are crazy, or whatever, right? Well, there's certain things we say in tongue-in-cheek, but in reality, everyone is a case-by-case basis, right? Okay, so let's continue. This is Tonyo TKO, and she's saying she's had an epiphany. Let's hear the epiphany.
gosh, listen, there's a disconnect. One and one is not making two. Two and two is not making four. Think about it. Think about it. Oh my God, I gotta get his house. I gotta. Men want to be single, and they don't care if you want to be single too.
Okay, so did you just hear that? Clarence, you taking it out of context. I know. Here we go again, right? I'm taking it out of context. That's not what you meant. She really meant this. She didn't mean that. I'm just going by what she said, right? So she didn't use any qualifiers, right? Right? The men I've been picking my whole life wanted to be single. The men I've been picking have wanted to not be in monogamous relationships. The men I've been picking have not been of a certain caliber that I should have in my life, right? We don't hear any of those qualifiers. Why? Because those qualifiers would drive us back to the accountability, that self-accountability. So we're not going to hear that. We're going to hear, men, the well is poison. The fish are all poison. That way I don't have no accountability for my incompetence is irrelevant, because even if I was to pick good men, even if I was to pick better, the men are bad. Man, I mean, good strategy, but unfortunately, man, when we look at the long game, women are losing, man. They losing because there's quality dudes out here, man. And what the quality guys are saying is, hey, man, sex with crazy women ain't worth it. Because they're coming out here with these studies. Oh, well, this is the first time where men are not having sex. Men are not having sex by choice. By choice. They're saying, man, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? You can easily get dragged to child support court, divorce court, family court. You can just get dragged, and you're going to get ragdolled in most cases, man, because most men don't know what they're doing, and they're too arrogant to listen most of the time. So they don't listen to how to do this stuff in a way where you can still have relations, but you need to prepare for yourself in case you have a child. That's why you need to pick better. I'm talking about men. Women obviously need to choose better, but men as well. A lot of men are just as incompetent, and they're choosing women based on the physical appearance instead of the character, instead of a combination of everything, where everything plays a role. Everything has a weight in the decision process. But most men, oh man, she looked good. Okay, whatever, let's go. Away we go. Right? They don't care about they don't care about the character or the personality or just the type of person she is, right? Because she looked good, right? Allegedly, right? But that is killing us as men. That mentality has you all up in divorce court. That mentality has you all up in family court. That mentality has you up there in child support court. That has you all caught up. Not to mention just the sheer horror of a relationship that you got to go through trying to co-parent with somebody that's unreasonable. All right, well let's finish. Let's finish because we got a lot of ground to cover, y'all.
What they care about is that women are having less oomph, right? They don't care about relationships. They don't care if you want to be single because hell, think about this. Think about this. Because I even told you all I started internet dating, or I started online dating recently. And the very first person who slid into my inbox was like, he's looking for something casual and consistent. This is what he told me, right? And I was like, this is not casual. That there are a lot of things that come involved. And just wait, that video is being split up piece by piece. But
look, so just one dude that slid into the first dude, just one dude is saying this stuff, and she's now extrapolating that into the whole sexual marketplace, right? Okay, I mean, I'm just trying to say, see, these extrapolations are getting the women's caught up, unfortunately, man.
Nonetheless, Ask any matchmaker. Ask any woman dating. Ask any woman throughout her life. I said in yesterday's video that a young woman's biggest resource is an older woman. Some of you are like, oh, but some of these, listen. One of our biggest...
I disagree with that. A younger woman's best resource is a older woman that's got her head on straight. That's been successful in the sexual marketplace. That's been successful in having her life and achieving her goals and being able to be successful, whatever that is. If you want to be single, cool. Find an older woman that's single and doing it and having a good time doing that. A younger woman that wants to be in a relationship, in a long-term relationship, you should not get advice from older single women. That's having fun on the, being single. That's what they're looking to do, is be single. Okay, you should get advice from someone who's looking to be married if you want to be married. Because to me, there's no wrong or right answer. It's not wrong if you want to be single. It's just wrong if you want to be single and you trying to give people that want to get married advice. I think that's going to conflict. That information is going to conflict, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. We gotta just think about what we're doing. If you're a young lady and you want to get married and you want to have a family, then listening to a woman that doesn't have that, that doesn't want that, and is doing everything in their power to not have that happening, that information is gonna conflict with your goals, right? It's probably better to listen to somebody who has a family, right? Woman that has a family, that's been through that and has a husband, been through that, probably gonna tell you better how to do that. Just in my opinion.
Biggest resources are the women who have come before us. What is it that you have learned from dating men for all of these years or decades? By and large, they are never looking for relationships. They are always...
the men you've been dating. See? We got to look at the critic. The men you have been dating are not looking for relationships, because you ain't dating men looking for relationships. You're not dating men that's looking for relationships. And this speaks to the incompetence in the sexual marketplace. Particularly, we talking about the women now, but both men and women display this horrific incompetence in sexual selecting, right? And so therefore, what have you learned, right? But they don't qualify it, right? I can't qualify this, Clarence. Why? Because if I say that it's my decision making that's the issue, then that's gonna break the narrative. That's gonna crack the narrative. I have to say all men are like this, right? Hey, and then I have to do like Princella, right? When you say, "Hey, all men ain't like this, man," there's a lot of men that do. Oh well, those are the exceptions to the rule. Those are the exceptions to the rule. They don't mean that the rule don't exist. Oh, okay. But wouldn't it be better why not go out with men that want to be married? Right? Why not, if you want to be married, why not just select men that want to be married? Oh, because Clarence, I'm not sexually attracted to those men. Oh, okay, well then that's the conflict that you have to work out inside yourself, internally. Because if you want to date, that's like me. If I want to date women, if I want to be married and I have a wife, I can't date women that's for the streets. That's not gonna work, right? And then say all women are messed up. All women, but Clarence, you keep dating these women that's for the streets. Why don't you date a woman that's not for the streets and see how that works out? But I ain't sexually attracted to her. Okay, then Clarence, you need to figure out why you're not sexually attracted to a woman that's gonna treat you right and do you better, and you need to figure out why you're not attracted to that. And what is it about these women that's for the streets that's got your blood boiling? Oh. All right, right, let's get back to Tonyo TKO. And man, Tonyo TKO says, man, you know, men just want to be single, man.
Banking on you being the one to jump through hoops, wanting to audition to be their wife, audition to be their girlfriend, while they're the ones who are coy. Oh, no, I don't want that right now. Right? But they want all the...
Okay. So it's an audition for both people. I don't understand that. It's an audition for both people. I, as the man, you expect me, especially I would say a sister in this age range, would expect that the man inviting her out on a date is going to pay for the total everything, right? I'm auditioning and demonstrating that I have the financial resources to not only take care of myself, but you too, if you just decide to tie your cart to my wagon, right? You, on the other hand, are demonstrating to me the benefits of doing that, the benefits of having you tie your wagon by this is the type of person I am. This is what I can bring to your life as well. We're both demonstrating different things that would be a benefit to each other, right? Or so allegedly supposed to be doing that, right? But a lot of times in women that think in this line of thinking, you know, the man is supposed to just, you know, be demonstrating to you this undying and worshipped type of, you know, a burning desire to get to the vagina that's so great that they willing to do whatever they have to do, spend every dime they got in the bank to get there. And so that is, and unfortunately, stops a lot of women because they don't understand that why would you want a man that's that out of control to be, you know, in your life with you? Because if he's going to do all that for you, he's not going to have enough self-discipline to not be doing that with other people, in my opinion. You want a man that has enough discipline to be able to say, yes, I would like to at some point be sexual with you, but I realize that this is a process and we got to go through this process so it'll be safe for both of us. Not only just me, but for you too. It should be a safe experience for both of us. But see, once again, this shows the level of incompetence. This shows the level of incompetence in the sexual selection market. So a lot of these women that think in this manner, they're so incompetent that they will select men like that. One man after another, after another, after another, after another, right? Instead of saying, oh man, you know, let me step back and see what am I doing something that can be improved? Can I improve on something? Because obviously the results I'm getting are not the results that I'm looking for. Maybe there's something that can be improved, right? But no, hey, if you date men, they just gonna be this way, right? Because but see, you got to understand, there's something in you that wants to be with men like that. There's something in you that wants that. You want to be with somebody like that. You just don't want them to treat. You just don't want to get the results you're getting. So that's the insanity that's out there, right? You want to keep dating the same type of dudes. You just want to get a different result. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue.
Gifts. They want all of the perks. They want all of the boom boom. They want that boom boom into my room, and they're mad because remember the data. Let's look at the data. Look at this here. Remember, this is what they're talking about on the Manosphere blogs. This is what Tucker Carlson is scared about. This is what's this guy's name? Scott Galloway. This is what he's running around talking about. Single, lonely. Oh, these men, they're the most dangerous in society. Look. The amount of men under 30 not having has nearly tripled in the past decade. The number of 18 to 29-year-old men reporting no in the past year more than doubled in the last.
I'm trying to tell you, men are deciding not to. See, there was a time in the past, man, where we would just have sex with somebody. They would be crazy as hell, but we would just have sex. But because of a lot of men in today's world are looking at it and saying, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. running and jumping in the bed with some crazy chick. It's not worth it no more. Men are deciding not to have sex. It's not that men can't have sex. Anybody with a couple of bucks in their pocket could have sex. Men are not having sex because it's not worth it. At the end of the day, in a lot of cases, and it's not worth it. Because really, the only chicks that are really out there, really, for the most part. Now, of course, you got exceptions to the rule that's out there, right? But for the most part, it's women that have experienced that are very incompetent in sexually selecting for themselves. That's who's out there in the marketplace for the most part. And when we talk about women and men, really, but we talk about women right now. It's mostly women out there they just incompetent, and they won't listen. They won't listen to nobody trying to tell them, hey, this is how you could have it. No, I'm gonna do it myself. See, I don't have to listen enough because I got men in my DMs. Of course you do. You have a vagina. Of course men are going to be in your DMs. I don't care what kind of personality you got. I don't care what kind of woman you are. If you got a vagina or they think you got a vagina or you look like you got a vagina, they're going to be in your DMs. Some men are going to be in your DMs no matter what. Right? It's the way it is, man. Because we have men in this society have been socialized to believe that the manliness is connected to this undying thirst for vagina at all costs. You have to be willing to do anything you can to get some lady's vagina who you don't even know, right? You're supposed to take her out and spend $2,000-$3,000 on one date for some chick you don't even know just because you want to get close to her vagina, right? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And women support this a lot of time. A lot of women do support this, right? Because it's a conflicting ideology. On the one hand, they'll say you shallow for being like that, for wanting just for the vagina. But then if you take them out on a date, they know you spending all this money to try to get next to their vagina, and if you don't spend the money, then they're going to say, "Oh, you're a cheapskate." You really I'm telling you, for men in the sexual marketplace, it is beyond chaos. It's beyond chaos. It's beyond ridiculous. It's a hodgepodge of broken and hurt women that you trying to select the least hurt person. I mean, with the best beauty appearance, but at the same time they have the least amount of wounds on them. That's basically what you're doing. What most men are doing. You got two other minorities. The one minority is the guys that are actually looking for wives. I think those guys are they're in the minority because they are just but they're forced to hunt in the sexual marketplace like everybody else. And the sexual marketplace is like, it's not even it's worse than the Wild Wild West. It's not even, there are no rules out there. Right? I don't have to tell you I was born a man. You know what I'm saying? It's no rules out here, right? It's just no rules, right? This is what men have to deal with, right? There's just no rules to the game, right? So you basically out here, man, it's just the law of the jungle out here, man, right? It's an ugly situation for men. And I'm saying it's just as bad for women, but I think women they're more able to control it because of the thirstiness of the men. I think they can control the situation based on the thirstiness of the men. We got to get that under control, but you see that it's getting it's that thirstiness is slowing down. One of the reasons is men don't watch as much TV anymore. Men are not watching TV anymore. So all of those little socialized and common little lessons that we were taught about, like Pepe Le Pew chasing a woman all the way down, and we're not watching that anymore. These young guys ain't seeing those kind of things anymore. So they don't come out the gate, with this super this aggressive thirst anymore, right? Therefore, that thirst cannot be leveraged against them in the sexual marketplace as it has been in the past. Right? Men are deciding not to have sex. It's not that there's something holding them back. They're deciding not to have sex because it's not worth it. They don't have this undying thirst anymore. At least the younger guys, and they just deciding that, hey man, it's not worth it. Why am I going to do all that? I got all the toys I want. I got everything I want, and I'm really not ready to be a dad right now. So why should I be having sex? I'd like to go out and have dinner with a woman. I mean, sure, I like to talk to a woman and everything, but I don't need to have sex. If sex comes up, cool. But if I'm not in a position where I'm going to do, I'm willing to do anything possible to have sex. Those days are leaving. So the ability to leverage that thirstiness is going out the window now. And that is a problem. See, they say a lot of women said they didn't like the fact that was the issue, but now it's going out the window. Now it's a problem. Oh, well, now it's a problem. Because that used to be the great motivator, right? The fact that a man wanted to have sex with you. He would be at least willing to play the role. Now men are like, man, hey, look, like Hink 75 say, hey, man, we just leave you at the restaurant. And you start talking crazy, man, and some men have had so much sex, they don't, not asexual, but just, I'm not in you've done so many things. You can't leverage sex against me. You can't leverage sex against the men. It just, not there. So now you got two different issues happening there. Anyway, let's get back to Tonyo TKO, man, because she got a lot to talk about.
Decade, right? Is it doubled or tripled? Look, 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030, which is a true statement. 45% of women ages 25 to 44 will be single and childless by 2030, by the year 2030, and that's just 7 years in the future. Listen. And then there's this, but I don't know how much this has to do.
Unfortunately, that single and childless is going to be with the help of technology, because I see a lot of. I don't think a lot of women are going to stop having sex. I think they're going to just go get it taken care of if they're going to destroy the conception. So I think that's going to be a big, huge factor in that 45% of women. That's going to be a huge factor. Not that they're not having sex. It's that they're murking these kids. They're murking these unborn kids. So, but anyway, that's another story. Let's continue.
Do with it, but take a look anyway. Women who don't marry or have children are consistently the happiest group in the population. And please let us not forget about this.
Now, I think you should do whatever makes you happy. If not being married and not having kids is gonna make you happy, then be happy. Then do it. I'm different, man. I don't say do you have to do, because no, man, everybody shouldn't be a parent. Every woman should not be a mother, and every man should not be a father. Right? Everybody's not meant to do that. You got the ability to do it, but some of us shouldn't do it. We don't have the personality or we're not the self-control and discipline to do that. And if you can recognize that in yourself and say, hey, man, I'm a happier person because I don't have no children and I don't have a wife or a husband or whatever. Cool. That's why I say, man, well, anyway, let me get off of that, man. Let me finish with Tonyo TKO.
Majority of individuals experiencing homelessness, 70% are male.
Of course, 70% of them are male. You see any male shelters out here?
The best way to make money on Amazon is not with.
So
Of course, there's going to be more male homelessness. That's crazy. Of course, there ain't no shelters for men. There's shelters for women everywhere. There's programs for women that are homeless everywhere. There ain't no programs for men. Of course, there's gonna be more men that are homeless. I mean, you know what I'm saying, man. We just not doing the math, man. We just not doing. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about, man. And because we don't look at things, practically, unfortunately, women take this type of some women take this type of mentality into the sexual marketplace, and they have the same unfortunate. When reality hits them, they can't understand what's going on. They can't crunch it up and say, hey, man, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one that's causing these issues to happen because of the way I'm looking at things. All right, y'all, let's continue.
back to the topic at hand. Men don't want to be in relationships, and it's costing them dearly and greatly. But like I said, back to the topic. If you ask any matchmaker, it's difficult to get male clients in, especially male clients who are seriously looking for healthy relationships, not the ones that want to use you as their madam to source an endless stream of inappropriately aged and
I see. This is I've been telling y'all this, man. You know why less and less men are going to matchmakers? Because they don't have to. They don't have to. The marketplace is full of vagina. Full of vagina. The women outnumber the men some places 16, 20 to 1. You don't have to go to no matchmaker. Only a super incompetent man would have to go to a matchmaker. No, it's not about getting women. You want to get the certain type of woman. A certain type of woman. And a matchmaker can't do it. Especially if she's a woman. Most matchmakers that are women are going to look at things like a woman would, right? Try to present you to the woman like a woman would want you to be presented to her, right? Your financial prowess, your sexual prowess, followed by your ability to worship her, right? Those are the three things that most women are typically interested in, right? Whatever else you got going on, they say, well, that's part of the game. Anyway, we just addressing these points, man. Shout out to Tonyo TKO. We just addressing these points. That's all. But I want to see, this is the point where we're saying, well, older women should be giving game to younger women. A lot of this is not so good game, right? It's not good advice, not good information, in my opinion. But hey, man, if Tonyo wants to come over here and talk about it, or have me go over there and talk about it, I'm willing to talk to you about it. No problem at all. No problem at all. I always invite people to come over here. Tonyo TKO, you are more than welcome to come over here and let's discuss it. Or not. It's a home ahead of me. Or not. One thing we don't do, we ain't gonna never disrespect nobody. Now, we may challenge you and push up on something you saying, especially if I feel it ain't true. Yeah, we might do that. But we always gonna show you respect. Right? Even if we disagree with you, we're going to show you respect. All right, let's go. Let's finish up with Tonyo TKO.
Power imbalanced relationships for them, right? By and large, they like being single. They like expressing about their autonomy and their want to be separate and free, right? So now women are like, okay, well, I'm going to be single.
Most men don't want to be single. But that's the better option for them in this society, is to be single. With the craziness that's going on in the sexual marketplace, where there's no rules, nothing, and if conception comes, the men are typically at a loss for how they can move around that. They only have one thing they can do, and that's be the man that they're supposed to be in the situation and take care of their children, which is what they should do, right? But they only got one move they can make, whereas a woman has many moves she can make, right? She can murk the baby, she can give it away to adoption, and she can do a lot of different things without the father's consent, right? So therefore, it's a very it's a very risky situation for most men. Very risky. And I don't know if a lot of women understand that or are willing to accept that or deal with that, but it's a very risky situation. Anyway, let's continue.
Because you know what happens? So this is what happens. This is like a domino effect. I don't know how this didn't dawn on me till just now. So what happens is they spend all of this time dating, talking about, well, you know, I really want to be single. Oh, you trap me. Oh, my ball and chain. Oh, I don't like my wife. Oh, let me smash pie and cake into her face, right? Because for too long, society has posited it as if, and this, oh my God, is reverse psychology. It's reverse. Society has posited society has posited it as if it is women who benefit the most from relationship. Oh, you better get a man. Oh, you can't keep no man, etc., etc. Meanwhile, it is men, and it has always been men who can't seem to be able to figure this life out without us. And the crazy part about it is that it breeds an environment of contempt. They have contempt for us because they're like, you trapped me into this relationship I did not want to be in. I'm going to smash you in the face with cake and pie. I'm going to be resistant. I'm not going to show up. I don't want to come home.
Of course, a man that did not want to be in a relationship, that got pressured to do it, and then it didn't work out, of course he's going to be upset. Of course that's going to breed contempt. Of course. See, what you're trying to do in the sexual marketplace is find people that are like-minded, right? The people that want to have relationships like you want to have relationships. But the problem is, especially on the women's end, they really are not looking for that. They're looking for somebody. They're looking for an energy instead of the characters of the person, characteristics that they should be looking for. They're looking for a certain type of energy. And when they see that type of energy, they get turned on, right? And so they pursue it. And so instead of saying to themselves, hey, this might be the kind of energy I'm used to having around me, or I won't have around me, but maybe this energy ain't good. Maybe in the long run, this energy ain't good. And maybe I need to look at other characteristics. Does this man pay his bills? Does this man keep his word? Does this man, value me as a person? Of course he values your vagina. Of course he wouldn't be going out with you if he didn't value your vagina. But does he value you as a person? Does he, there's other things that come with a man besides his wallet. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's other things. And because you're not considering those things, you blaming the whole marketplace and saying, well, the whole marketplace is like this. But the whole marketplace is not like this. See, there's women out here, but you don't hear from them because they got they got their house, they're at home. Everything's good. Yes, there's ups and downs in the relationship, but for the most part, hey, their relationship is cool. Why should they be online complaining every day that that men are so bad? They picked a man that was, he may not have been the best, had the best looks, and he may not have had the energy, but at least he loved her. He truly loves her, right? And that's what we not looking at. We don't want to be really loved. We want to be worshipped. Looking for worshipers, men and women. We're looking for worshipers, right? And the incompetence, man, instead of sitting back and saying, you know what, Clarence, right, man, I'm very incompetent. Look at all these men I've dated, and I've had all these bad experiences with these men. What do I have to lose to listening to this guy? What you got to lose? Right? That's why I say, man, for the most part, y'all, man, I'm telling you, we need to invest in these old folks' homes for women, because they're going to be single and they're going to be nobody to take care of them, and they're going to need some place to be. Right? Because if you live in America, you're going to have a health problem at some point, right? You're going to be in a position where you can't take care of yourself at some point, right? You don't have a husband or a wife or anything like that. No children, right? Eventually, man, somebody's going to have to take you. The state's going to have to pick up, take care of you. And I'm sure, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be so many women like that out here, man, because they're so outnumbered. They outnumber men, and men don't live as long. I don't think you're going to need, old folks home for as many men, because men don't live as long as women. Women live typically longer than men, by 7 to 8 years at least, right? Typically. All ages and all things being the same. Women usually live longer, right? Right? Women are typically not on jobs where you got to go to work and you basically got to, expend so much energy and take years off your life every day by going out and working like that, right? They're typically not on jobs like that. Anyway, see, we got to throw everything in the pot. So we can't just say, well, this is this way. We got to consider all the other things, right? But I don't want to I don't want to give you guys the wrong idea and think that only women are incompetent. Absolutely not. Men are just as incompetent. They're getting just as bad or horrible results. The only thing now, I'm just talking to women at this point right now. I would definitely talk about men as well. But definitely women, I think they just don't understand the situation and what they should be doing. I think they just think that, man, you either get lucky or you don't get lucky, and that's not it. It's not about being lucky. It's about being very focused on what you want out of a man, and not letting your emotional state get in the way of what you really want in a man, or because you are pick up this energy off of a dude and you say, oh man, I like that energy, but the dude might not be no good. So you got to consider everything. Okay, you got the kind of energy you like, right? But does he have the kind of character you need to have in your life? And I think that's the part where women are having to disconnect, man, because they don't really think about it like that, man. They don't think about it like that. And I understand, right? Because, hey, like I said, once again, the accountability factor is that, hey, look, if I have to admit that it's me, because who else is picking these men that you dating, right? Who is allowing them to come into your life, right? Me? I'm not doing it, right? So it got to be you, right? But it's the type of men you picking. You pookie picking, and then you get mad because the pookies ain't acting right, or they ain't doing, they do what pookies do, right? They do what pookies do, right? Elijah Muhammad said, dogs bark. He said, why would you get mad at a dog for barking? That's what dogs do. Dogs gonna bark. He said, you ain't gonna be able to change that dog. The dog is not gonna stop. It's just gonna bark. That's his nature. Now, what you can do, you can domesticate him. If the dog is willing to be domesticated, you can domesticate him. But the dog has to be willing to do that. You can't go out to a pit bull and say, hey, pit bull, I'm training you to be a poodle. Pit bull nature is just, he may act like a poodle for a little while, but if something come up where his nature got to come out, boom, that pit nature gonna come out, right? Right? You can take one of these pookies, put a suit on him. You can get him a good job, get him a good city job or whatever, right? But shoot, man, a pookie is a pookie. And if he don't get no help and he don't realize that he need to change that, and he don't want to do it, when the opportunity for him to be a pookie come out, he gonna be a pookie. Right? Why get mad at him? You the one that wanted to be with him, right? All right, let's finish up.
I don't want to father my children, or not, I don't want to be a dad. I don't want to participate. Did you see that video where the men didn't even know their children's birth date or any of their friends' names or any of that? And this is modern day, and it has always been like this, except worse. It was worse in the past because women could not leave these relationships because of finances. And now, and I was talking to a friend about this the other day, I was like, when people are given the freedom to do what it is that they want to do, you see what it is that they want to do. Or when they're given the freedom to do what it is that they choose, you will see what it is that they choose. And women, when...
Okay. You're right. Let's use Tia Morrow as an example. Tia Morrow as an example. She left her husband. She said she graduated from, I graduated from being married. Oh, okay. See, you need people to do what they want to do. Now, see, I could extrapolate that, but I'm not. I'm just going to say that is some women have that same mentality, right? Hey, I don't want to be married because it's not fun. I'm bored. You know, I'm listening to my girlfriends. I'm listening online, and I should be having a time of my life right now. Okay, you should be, but why you not? When you a certain age, the time of your life is taking care of your family. That's the fun day. That's fun, right? You make sure everybody ate. You make sure everybody got someplace to sleep. You make sure everybody's clothes are clean. Make sure everybody got a place to come when they get, when after the day is over, you can go. I'm going to tell you, man, this is one of the main things that you get as a father when you have children, man. And some fathers don't get this, right? Because they just not able to work something out where they can live with their children, right? But some of us are. And the best time in the day is when you shut everything down in your house and you can go in all the beds and you can count heads and you go around and see. That is God saying, thank you. That's God saying, good job today. Good job today. Everybody who was in that bed last night and they got up and left this house and they all came back and they're all in that bed, they're all in their beds. Good job. You go look in your bed and your wife is there. Good job. Those are the kind of things you get as men. You don't get no Mother's Day and all that. See, mothers get so much more. And I believe because they physically do a lot more. They physically do a lot more. But men do a lot too. Men do a lot, but the recognition is not there. The recognition is not the same. But men don't get bent out of shape. We don't get bent out of shape because we don't get the recognition. That's neither here nor there. As long as the kid gets across the river, right? We don't care, right? Most of the time, right? But man, I'm telling you, man, sexually selecting, man, it's something that you have to learn how to do. In my opinion, man, if you're doing it for yourself, you have to learn how to do it, man. Because if you don't, this is what's gonna happen, man. You're gonna pick a lot of dudes, you're gonna pick a lot of pookies, and then you're gonna say, man, damn, man, all these dudes are pookies, right? Because you don't understand the necessity for character, right? You think because a guy got money in the bank and he got a nice car and he got a nice house that he's a solid dude. That automatically makes him a solid dude. No. There's pookies that have a nice house. There's pookies that have a nice car. Why? Because they use that stuff to lure in as bait to lure in women so that they can abuse them, right? And so, a lot of y'all fall right into the trap. Just because a dude got a nice job and a nice car and a nice house, that don't mean he's a solid dude. You got to think to yourself, a dude that got this, he's a handsome dude, got a nice car, nice job. Why is he single? Something must be going on here. Something's going on here. Same thing you have to do when you're looking at a woman. You say, man, wait a minute, this woman's so beautiful and she's such a nice person and everything. Why is she single? If you ask her, oh, it's the man's fault, right? It's the man. The man did this to me. So a lot of y'all go for it. Then when you get in a relationship with the chick, you find out, man, she crazy as hell. She Jada Pinkett crazy, right? Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to Tonyo TKO, because Tonyo TKO says, when men are given the opportunity to do what they want, man, they're going to follow their desires. And I think that's most people. Most people given the opportunity, men or women, male or female, given the opportunity to do what they want, they're going to follow their desires, right? They're not going to follow right guidance. They're not going to follow, what in the long run, what's going to be better for them. They're going to follow their desires in most cases. All right, let's continue.
And given the autonomy, given the freedom, given the financial capability, women are choosing to be by themselves, with other women, on the road traveling, living an autonomous life with cats, dogs, plants, hell, anything except for these ill-equipped, emotionally unintelligent males. God damn it.
Then stop selecting them. I was gonna say, man, stop selecting them. Oh, Clarence, ain't no more good men. All good men are taken. No, they not. They're just bowing out. They're just bowing out of the carnage of the sexual selection market at this point. They're just bowing out. So you'll see them, if you go see men, they're in the libraries. They're in the medical library. They're in the law library. See, white women understand this, man. Unfortunately, that black women don't. Is white men understand you have to be purposeful in a situation where the competition is ever increasing for good men. The competition is ever increasing for good men. You have to be purposeful. That's why white women will do things purposely. They go into the law library at the college. Hey, you guys need somebody to volunteer to be on the jury? Oh, I'll do it. They get up next to the lawyers, the paralegals, the judges, these people that's going to be, and they get them in a circle of friend. They in their friend circle. Same thing. They go to the medical building. You guys need somebody to, volunteer as a corpse, this or that, or volunteer to grade papers or whatever. They go over there. They get up next to these young doctors, and they get in the friend circle with them. See? Then when it's time to sexually select, they got a pool of people to select from that are probably going to be, they've already hang around these people and seen them in stressful situations and seen them in different situations. And they can see, oh, okay, they kind of get an idea of their character. Maybe they don't get the first dude, but they might get the second dude. Right? See, they're purposeful. They're a little more purposeful. I think but see, even because they have been following these, unfortunately, the way black women have been doing things, because black women say freedom is better than family, right? Freedom is better than family in a lot of times in a black woman's mind, right? Not all black women. Oh, Clarence, you said all black women. I'm qualifying everything I'm saying, right? Not all of them, but a lot of times that's the ideology that's promoted, this is how black women feel. Like freedom is better than family, right? So what I'm saying is, hey, you know what? You as a black woman, man, you have to decide. And first thing you have to do is know what you want in a man. And the second thing you have to do is be willing to sacrifice what you normally would do and do what you should do. And that's based on your future, not on your present. What is your future? What do you want in your future? Right now, you don't have the relationship you want, but in the future, you want that tight relationship. Well, you got to pick somebody who has all the character traits that's going to allow you to develop that relationship. If you pick Pookie and Ray Ray don't have the stuff that's going to take to develop that relationship. And then you're going to get mad because Pookie and Ray Ray didn't select that. Well, I didn't pick a Pookie and a Ray Ray class. I picked a man. He had a nice job and everything. That don't mean he ain't a Pookie. He had a nice job, Clarence. He had a nice car. He liked it. He had a mom and everything. That doesn't mean he ain't no Pookie. A Pookie is somebody that's just self-centered and just gonna do what he want to do for himself. Just because he got a car and a house don't mean he ain't a pookie. Pookies are not equipped emotionally to create this situation where a relationship can prosper. And that is what women need to start ferreting out, is guys like that. But the problem is guys like that are the most sexually attractive, right? They're the most sexually attractive. They're the most they're the most alluring. So therefore, the women are more attracted to them. They don't have to have a good personality. Just like a really beautiful woman, she don't have to have a good personality. Why should she? Dudes are gonna be at her no matter how she act. So therefore, there's no reason to practice having a better personality, right? All right, let's continue.
If a woman would rather be with plants than you, then why not open up your eyes and see at some point that you must be the problem? Oh my gosh, they talk about the 70% rate of women leaving relationships as if there's something wrong with the women. The women are fickle. No, women have been, oh my gosh, they've been programmed. They've been programmed to want to do anything to get a man, to keep a man, to stay in a relationship with a man.
I agree with her on, they've been programmed to want to be with the man. They're programmed, but they're internally pre-programmed for that. But they've been programmed society-wise for monogamy. Their society have been programmed them for monogamy because society has told them that is good. That will be a better situation for them than this autonomy, right? Because when they get older, because the society says men are always going to be looking at the upgrade, or if they don't have a reason to be connected to you, therefore they're going to always try to do better, right? They're going to try to upgrade. And women are the same way, right? Women are not naturally monogamous. They are not. They are not, in my opinion, they are not naturally monogamous. That is a social construct, right? If you look at females, mammals, they are typically not monogamous. And I would agree that I would say that the human female is monogamous based on societal constructs, rather than that was her, and that's how she's made. She's not made to be monogamous. She has to be taught monogamy, and therefore, when she's taught monogamy, she has to see the reasons and the benefits for monogamy, and the benefits for monogamy are definitely more benefit to the female than the male in a society like this. So therefore, definitely women, you just need to just understand that you have a lot of options out here. One option is to be single. Cool. If you happy being single, see, I don't have no problem with, if you want to be single and not have a man, cool, no problem. If you want to be married and have a man, no problem, cool. But we can't cross the information. We can't cross the two informations, because one is going to tell the other side, you sad because you got a family. And the other side going to say, you sad because you single, right? When those are not necessarily the cases. Might be a woman that's out there, man, she's single, man, she having a blast. She 40, 50 years old, she having a blast, right? Might be a woman that's got a family, been married 20, 30 years. She having a blast, right? Watching her kids grow up, you know what I'm saying? Checking in and out of them with them, volunteering at the school, whatever, right? She having a blast. Have her husband come home to, cuddle up to every night. She having a blast. So it just depends on what's going on, right? Ain't no right and wrong answers. Let's just don't cross-pollinate, right?
And yet, by and large, when they can't take it anymore, they're like, God, I got to get out of this relationship. I'm gone. And
but these are men that they selecting, right? You got to get out of a relationship of the men you selecting. You are picking these people. And this is the part that I just can't understand why most of the women will and the men do it too, man. I've had arguments with men that's the same way. I said, you pick this chick. Man, the girl got me a family court. I said, but you picked this chick. You picked her. You. Nobody else picked this chick. You picked this chick. First time we went to court, me and my son, man, going to court, man, for my granddaughter, man. He's like, I can't believe she took me to court. He's like, I can't believe we in court. I said, you picked this chick. You picked this chick. I had a family member, the same thing, man. She tore his ass up in a divorce. He said, I can't believe it. I said, you picked this girl. You picked her. Rest in peace, but you picked her. She's no longer with us, but you picked this chick. You picked her. Who you gonna get mad at? Who? A lot of women do the same thing, man. They just would not take responsibility for selecting somebody that came in and just bulldozed their life over, right? Holy smokes, man. But I'm saying if we would do that, we would hold ourselves more accountable. We would make better decisions, right? We would say, hey, you know what? I don't want to repeat that, so let me make a better decision. But instead of doing that, we're going to say, hey, luck is what's going to help us. Maybe I get lucky this time. It ain't got nothing to do with luck. Go look in the white community, man. It don't have nothing to do with luck. Man, I'm telling you, white women, for the most part, it's not luck. They're deliberate. They're deliberate a lot of times when they do what they do, man. But us in the black community, man, because we both, the men and the women, are looking for worshipers, man. I'm looking for somebody that's going to see me and just fall on their feet, right? Falling, oh my God, right? That's what you're looking for. But that's not the reality. The reality is it's going to take time for somebody to get to know you. Think that much of you where they want to spend most of their time with you. That's going to take time. You ain't their mama. Right? That's going to take time, man. Anyway, let's continue.
Leave. The men are the ones who want to stay in. Men rarely file for divorce. Why? Number one, because for far too many relationships, all they have to do is just exist there while they receive all of the benefits of the relationship.
Yeah, you're just existing. You go to work every day, right? You go to work every day. You make your own lunch. You go to work. You get up. You go to work every day, right? You come home to a house full of people that don't do nothing you say do, right? They cause all this confusion because they just will not listen. They rebellious, right? You go back to work the next day, right? You come back home to these people that are ungrateful, unthankful, right? Every day. You know, when I was younger, I used to say, like, I would hear about a dude that left his whole family, just left them. I'd be like, man, that's effed up, man. How could you do that? But as I got older, man, and I started realizing, man, I started seeing the ins and outs of actually being in the father of a family, man. You see so much rebellion, and you go like, man, what is going on here? Do these people really need me around here? All they need me to do is pay their bills. That's the only issue, right? I mean, they ain't listening to me. They ain't doing nothing I'm saying. What? And they keep running into all these problems because they don't do what I say. What do they need me for? And then when you drop them and go get another family, they say, how could you leave? How could you leave? You guys don't listen to me anyway. I'm telling you what to do. You won't listen. You won't do what I'm telling you to do. You're causing more problems and more problems and more problems because you won't listen. All you really wanted me to do is just pay the house note just to make sure that you got groceries and make sure the bills are paid. Okay, I can do that from my own place. Right? How could you leave our mother? How could you do it? Oh, yeah. But you don't understand until you actually, when you have the crown, what they say, heavy is the crown, heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You don't understand what's going on. You understand your father more when you're the one that's wearing the crown. When you're the one. And then you say, I see why he was so angry a lot of times. I see why he was so upset a lot of the times. Now I see. Right? But see, that's what I'm saying, man. There's a disconnect between women and men and how they think about things. That's all I'm trying to show you. That's all I'm trying to show you. If you a woman, try to get with women that are doing what you want. If you want to be single, hey, connect to Tonyo TKO. She's gonna tell you how to be single, how you can, have yourself in a thought process that's gonna keep you and remain you single, right? But if you want to be in a relationship, then my advice is to go find people that's in relationships and let them tell you the reality of being in relationships, right? Okay, let's continue, man. We got a little bit left, a little bit more to go.
Listen, oh my goodness, vagina. Oh, I can't even say the words in these videos. Our V is like a portal of healing for them. And they bank their whole lives and self-worth over whether or not they can dip into these healing waters, this fountain of youth.
I admit, certain women do have a vagina of healing. I will admit that. But it's not just only the vagina, it's their whole personality, it's their whole person. That the vagina is just an extension of their personality, right? But the average woman's personality is not healing at all. The average woman, especially American born and American raised, is not a place of healing. It's a place of demonic tension, where tension is always at the root of almost everything, right? That's why men, we tell men too, you got to pick better. Everybody, you got to pick better. That's your only protection in a wild and wicked, crazy sexual selection market like you have now, the sexual marketplace that you have now, where there are no rules. There is no rules. There are no rules. You can do whatever. Anybody can do whatever. There ain't no rules to this thing. The best you can do is try to protect yourself by making the best decision possible. Only picking people to be around you that's going to support your positive energy. If they're not going to support your positive energy, why have them around? Oh, but Clarence's sex is so good, Clarence. You don't know this man. Oh my God. Okay, if that's what you want, then that's what you want more than your energy to be preserved. Then okay, then don't get mad and don't say, well, don't try to make it out to be like somebody coming up to you to try to deal with your energy. You put this person in to abuse your energy. You did that.
Regenerative oasis. Meanwhile, not really wanting to be with you, not appreciating the beautiful, oh my gosh. You know what? I lived in Japan for a year when I was in my 20s, and I longed for black women. There is a warmth and a power to black women, black womanhood,
Agreed.
Black sisterhood. I can't even imagine what it's like from a male standpoint. Girl, you are magic. So in conclusion, they want to puff out their chests and walk around in society and pretend as if they don't want relationships, or even in their hearts and minds feels that they don't want them. They don't want to commit. They don't want to have you depend on them. They don't want to have to show up and be a good person. What they want is to continuously have the smorgasbord.
There's no qualifier. The men I've been picking don't want me. The men that I've been picking don't want to be in a relationship. The men that I've been picking don't want to be in it. The pookies that I've been picking don't want this. The pookies that I've been picking don't want to do it. That's what she'll be saying, right? But of course, that's going to say that's going to put the accountability on her, right? So she don't want that accountability on her, right? Like most women, not all women, but most women, they're going to avoid accountability like the plague, right? Oh, that wasn't my fault. Oh, there's no way I could have known that. There's no way I could have protected myself from that. Oh, no, right? Oh, no, there's no way. You either just get lucky or you don't, right? And long as women keep that attitude, man, they'll always be unsuccessful because luck is not part of the equation. Yes, it may rule in your favor. There might be that 1 in a million person that find a pookie and the pookie is ready to turn the corner. You might be that 1 in a million person that find that person. But in most cases, you get what you see is what you get. Oh man, let's finish up, man. Almost.
They want to have the buffet of babes paraded before them so that they can pick and choose and not really show up and give their worst selves. But now that women are taking it back and saying, well, you know what? You don't want a relationship, boy. I don't want one either. Let me go put on my backpack and travel. Oh, well, other women get their purse and travel. I get my backpack. Now they're panicking. They're panicking.
Men are panicking? The average man is not panicking. I don't know what this chick is talking about. The average man can snap his fingers and have women around him. That's not the average man. I mean, you know how many 20 to 1, 16 to 1 in some of these major cities, 20, 25 to 1. Come on, 25 available women to 1 available man. Come on, man. Average man can snap his fingers and have women, and that's a man. That's a broke man. We ain't even talking about men that got actually money in their pocket. I mean, anybody can get a woman. Hell, women are getting women. Anybody can get a woman. I don't think men are panicking. I think men are starting to see, you know what, it's not worth it, right? The juice ain't worth the squeeze, right? If I ain't gonna be married to the woman, why should I have sex? Which is a better option, in my opinion. Why should you have sex? If you're not prepared to deal with the situation that might develop as a result of conception, why should you have sex? Why should you? Right? There's other things you can be doing. Now, if you're looking for somebody to be with, you want a companion, okay. Then now you out there in the dating market trying to the sexual marketplace trying to create that situation. Cool. But there's steps you're gonna have to go through, and one of the steps you have to go through is you're gonna have to spend a little time with lots of different women to try to see who has the right type of character as on top of the beauty appearance, right? To help you do what you're trying to do. Anyway, let's go. Let's continue, man. We're almost there.
Because you don't want to be in these toxic, one-sided, dilapidated relationships. I want to hear your comments below because I just had this epiphany. I want to know, did you know this before? Tell me, what are your thoughts? Are you just finding this out? Meanwhile, they're the ones in hospice care and in the homeless streets. And
No. Men don't spend that much time in hospice. They may spend a little time. The ones that's actually living the longest in hospice, go look that one up. That's women. Women live longer. They're the ones going to be in hospice a lot longer than men. Men might do a year or two and they're out of here. It's women that's going to be living out there, man. It's the women it's these 80-year-old women that's coming up pregnant in these hospice care places. Huh? Come on now. Let's just tell it like it is. It's these women that's coming up in these hospice care, coming up, pregnant. Their teeth knocked out or whatever, right? It's these women. They're the ones gonna spend the most time in hospice. Men probably do a year or two, they gone, right? Men ain't living that long after they retire. Most men, they don't live that long. And then once they get in hospice, by the time the average man gets in the hospice, man, he's almost out of here. It's the women that's going to be going in the hospice that's going to be living there a long time. Long time. Maybe 7, 8 years in hospice. Nobody coming to visit. Gonna be a tough situation. Men might do a year or 2 in hospice, but they're out of here. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think, man. Shout out to Tonyo TKO, man. You know, I just wanted to show her. I just wanted to show her thinking process. She has a big following, right? So her thinking process and how that is going to affect other women, right? Because other women are going to be looking at this saying, yeah, Tonyo, you right. But the bottom line to it is you pick these toxic people. You picking them. And until you acknowledge that and then decide, okay, I don't want to pick toxic people like this. I don't want toxic people like this in my life. What do I need to do to stop? Oh, okay, I have to re-examine how I'm selecting these men. I have to re-examine that. What I consider sexually aroused, what I consider a good choice in a man, I might need to reevaluate that. That's when we finally gonna get somewhere with these women and the ones at least that pick these toxic men and toxic relationships. And I'm not talking about every woman, right? Because there's sometimes when you pick a man and it just don't work out, right? Well, whatever, it's just the wrong time. You know, you're married, he's single, he's single, you're married, whatever, or you're married, you're single, he's married, whatever, right? Or you know, he's just got this great job on the other side of the country, or whatever. I mean, sometimes it's just bad timing, right? Sometimes it's bad timing, or it's just you know, you pick this dude, he's a great dude and everything, but he's still legally married and he got all this other stuff to work out, right? So I mean, you know, sometimes it's bad timing. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about when you picking people that's going upside your head, you know, that's abusive, that's toxic. That is your choice. You are picking these people, men and women. Hello, y'all picking these people. So stop doing that and reevaluate what it is that you are doing to select those type of people. Because obviously you are playing a role in that. And so to cut down on all of that toxicity, maybe you need to reevaluate what you are doing. And just because a guy got a car and a house and a bunch of money in the bank, that don't necessarily mean he's a solid dude. He could still be a pookie. All right, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Peace.